Hey, this is Dan.
Bob.
And Dr. Aggro.
I didn't sound sexy enough when I started this. I'm going back. We're
Apparently
doing it
so
again.
is Dan.
Hey, this is Dan.
Bob.
And Dr. Aggro.
From GigaBoots.com. Welcome to podcast episode 4. We didn't fucking subtitle it. We spent 5 minutes.
Son of a bitch.
We've spent 5 minutes listening to you hiccup. Or vomit. Or seize. I don't know what that was. We don't need to talk about your medical condition on the
I think we need to talk about your lack of medical condition identification skills. Take a minute, go up a level, drop some points in that shit.
You know, I'm just saying, like, you sat there, I saw you straighten your body and then go, and then you stop moving.
Now, admittedly, that combination could be a multitude of things, both good and bad.
Bob, what have you been playing? We're subtitling this. Bob, what have you been playing?
Yeah, okay.
No, let's subtitle this one Chirp Chirp Chirp, because that bird's going to be heard eventually.
He's gone for now.
He's got a lot to say.
I haven't heard him.
I haven't heard him in the 5 minutes of seizing.
Don't listen with your ears.
Listen with your hearts?
What? No. Your
What?
nose. Your heart can't hear. Are you fucking retarded? You
sorry.
seriously need to get better at this medical shit.
I'm sorry.
So, Bob.
No, what are you listening
No, Bob. What are you playing?
All right. I guess we'll segue right into that.
That's not a segue. What are you playing, Bob?
Takes off on a segue.
Well, shit. I sit corrected.
I have still been playing Dynasty Warriors 8. That's pretty cool.
But you
cool.
guys did a quick play of that, right?
Yeah.
So wasn't that like the whole game? That's what the last one was.
Huh.
The last
No.
one wasn't the whole game
Are you sure?
either. Yeah, no.
I kept drifting in and out, honestly, so.
Oh, we know. Comes back, wakes up, says racist thing, falls asleep.
There are a lot of Chinese on screen. I can see
Nice.
why it's so easy.
It's so
There
easy
are
for
a lot
aggravating.
of Chinese on screen.
Bob
Wow.
from GigaBoots.com. Man, I want to see that on Dynasty Warriors box.
Right? Why don't reviewers love Dynasty Warriors? There's an awful lot of Chinese on screen. The game is overwhelmingly Chinese. Why don't you just say it's fucking crawling with them, Bob?
I've also been playing Time and Eternity.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
in that?
Because
White girls?
Because of our
Quick play.
quick play.
That isn't up yet, but should be showing up within the day after this podcast goes up.
Yeah, I really want to watch that. Because I see the soundtrack over there, and I'm like, white chicks in weird costumes. This is an RPG. And I open it up, and they've got bolt-action rifles. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Time and Eternity is something special. You really should check it out, Aggro. I was like, oh, I wish Aggro was here for this. This is just so Kuso.
What?
So shit.
Okay, that's what I thought.
They have a genre in Japan called a Kuso game.
Really?
Mhm.
And
You know that
is
muscly
like
fight-
scat porn?
You know that muscly flying shooter that involved gay dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Kuso game. There are a lot of Kuso games that are just blatantly like, this game is shit, and everyone loves it, but it's shit.
And this art I'm looking at is from one of those kind of games?
I'm describing it as that because it is so unbelievably
I need to play the shit out of this game.
terrible. Like, it is so bad, but it's delightfully bad.
Awesome.
The art on the cover is
It's
deceptive.
bullshit.
Yes.
It really is. Like,
Good.
they don't look anything like that, and they keep using that style of art for the loading screen, so it's even more jarring.
I am on board.
So, Aggro, what have you been playing? Bob, that's all you've been playing.
Yes, it is. Why don't you?
Oh, okay.
I played a lot of Borderlands 2 today,
Yeah.
and I had a bad experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell the
I'm
audience?
going to tell that story.
Okay,
So
you tell that story.
So I'm out there in the Borderlands, and I'm killing the bandits, because apparently they all deserve to die, regardless of faction or affiliation.
If this was a Life Well Wasted podcast, this is when we would cut in the Western music to accompany your story.
Well, there's a bandit type in Borderlands 2 called Goliath, and I'd killed a couple by now, but I'd thrown grenades at him, or I'd dropped the turret and gone around the corner to shoot more dudes in the head. Well, this one I got up close to, and I popped him a couple times with a shotgun, and I knocked his mask off, and then he turns around immediately. I'm like, wait, his whole face area looked kind of weird, so I go to swing around to get a better look at it before I kill him, and he goes, "It's time to get serious," and he takes his guns off, which is the opposite of putting your guns on.
Yes.
And and he reaches. I see him reach into his skull region and rip out his skull, which is now red and glistening and standing atop like 2 or 3 feet of spine when he turns around and just starts waddling all 450 pounds of nightmare at me. I just kept firing shotgun shells into the air over where his corpse lay for a good 5-6 seconds, just cringing, like waist deep in shit now.
Fucking the best thing about it doing that is they have a lot of different phrases that queue up when he does that. And one time he rips his head like that and he screams, "Ah, that's not going back on!"
My God. Because like the game pops up and it's like Goliath is raging. I'm like, that is not an appropriately broad term to describe what the fuck just happened.
You're about to shit yourself. Now that is a lot more accurate.
No foreshadowing, nothing like that had ever happened in the entirety of 1, and I did every quest in 1. Ugh. I'm not terrified that there's something Skags do that I just haven't seen yet.
What are those 2 Skags doing? Oh God!
Mommy, what did those 2 Skags do?
Fucking bellowed Eddie.
So Dan, have you been playing anything less horrifying?
Well, I beat Borderlands 2. Oddly enough, that whole day we were playing, what was that, 8 hours, 9 hours?
It was something like
7 hours.
probably 10 even, because it was a long time with Borderlands.
Yeah, it was.
Which I apparently haven't been playing because I didn't list that.
6, 9. No, yeah, you didn't play. I played it with other Bob. Yeah, it was about 9 hours, 10 hours of Borderlands 2. That didn't happen once.
What?
That thing.
Shit, really?
Yeah, it didn't.
That happened all the time.
What? Did
Yeah.
we just kill them so fast it was a non-issue?
Yeah.
Because I kept waiting to hear a catchphrase or anything like that. I didn't hear anything, and I'm just like, this one's dying too. I don't know. Maybe they're all going off next to you.
Yeah, I keep shooting them in the head, which causes that. So, because then you can get more.
You get more points.
You get more
if you
points.
feed them.
Yeah, and if you let them go around killing things, they'll level up to like super Goliaths.
Oh Jesus!
And then
they kill other stuff like that.
Yeah, they'll just go aggro on whatever's near them.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, they keep leveling up. Like they'll just jump up to. There's that bird.
Can we please not call ripping your own skull out and devouring your comrades going aggro? Because that's not an association I'd like to carry around with me.
I think that's pretty typical of MMOs, though.
Oh, yeah.
Don't all the World of Warcraft characters?
I don't know. I never really got to the end of ICC, so
Yeah. So we played that. Didn't play Diadramti. Still have not done that.
Wow,
Also have not played Ring Runners. Haven't played any more of 99 Spirits. Dear indie developers, sorry. I registered all of these games. They're on my system. I'm just like, I'm gonna play you. But then we record stuff like Killer Instinct retro boots that'll be going up pretty soon. And I don't know. I get distracted trying to figure out how Killer Instinct works, and it works pretty similarly to what I remember of like do one special move and then do another, and that's a combo. But like hit this and then that. Yeah, it's weird. Like normally in a fighting game, you do a super, right? Like say it's a Hadoken, and then from that you can do a medium strength Senpikaku. So you do the spinning kick thing, and then there's like some normal hits in there maybe. No, Killer Instinct, it's like hold back, press forward to arm blade, then hold forward, press back to do some other thing, then press Y, then do another super move. And this is like to get 16 hit combos. Like what I just described to you was a 16 hit combo.
Okay, now point of clarification. This is hold forward and then press back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of my Genesis controller. Could I hold forward and press back?
Don't think you did on any D-pad.
I'm positive there was one. I can't remember which one it was. Like ever. It wasn't on a very mainstream console.
I would imagine not.
Yeah, it had split buttons. I can't remember what it was.
I was gonna ask you, did you actually play that Mario 64 mod?
Yes.
All right.
I was moving on to that, but we stumbled, like Bob and I got butthurt about the modding community not giving a shit about Castlevania, because after a good bit of googling, we got a mod for Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance that lets you play as Julius Belmont.
In
Which
Mega
was
Man.
impressive. Like, Julius was well done. He plays like he should.
Like press X to rape Reverse Castle.
Yes.
Nice.
But they also added Mega Man, and yeah, it was pretty bad. It
It
was,
seems like that could be done very well.
but it wasn't.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
that's sort of the
shit.
problem here.
Yeah, he didn't even shoot across the screen. He shot like a little bit in front of him.
Yeah, it was a part of his animation. So as he moved up and down, it was basically a whip
Yeah.
in the form of like a pellet, like dying off within a foot. So as neat as that was, that didn't keep my attention for very long. There's a Skyrim Castlevania mod that I want to try out, but since I don't have Skyrim on the PC, I can't. I guess I'm just gonna show up at Jonathan's house.
Okay, so it's a Castlevania Skyrim mod?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Castlevania. What did I say?
I don't know. You said it's Skyrim Castlevania mod. I'm like, shit, which one? That sounds awesome.
Either
I
one's
would love
good.
to play fucking Symphony of the Night and just thoom my way through that castle.
So yeah, that looked pretty neat. Haven't tried it. Need to. But then we stumbled across Super Mario 64 Star Road, which is this really, really intricate mod for Super Mario 64 that sticks in all new levels, does crazy stuff. Like, it's awesome. One of the things in it, which Bob was like, why isn't this jackass on YouTube getting the star already? And it's this simple looking structure. It's like, okay, there's a line this way, and it kind of looks like an echochrome thing where, you got 4 points, and those 4 points just have interconnecting platforms, right?
Right.
And it's always gonna go across, no diagonal shit. And it's all the way up, and only, like, eventually each of the 4 points dies off. The reason why that guy had such a trouble with that, there is only one jump type you can use in each of those instances, otherwise you can't jump high enough.
I figured it was
I
something
was
like
like,
that.
that's fucking awesome. I'm loving this.
The only reason I was worried about that was I was like, is this the game's creator and he doesn't know which jumps to use?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I set my puzzles to random. Hang on. Back it up. What program are you using?
That's fucking... Oh, I have to go.
I just
Time traveler back into the machine.
I just use Vista Pro and whatever it pops out with, that's the level.
And I'm done.
Does anyone still know what Vista Pro is?
Like the pro version of Vista?
No.
Like the OS? Was that a widget I missed?
I'm gonna be honest.
Make Mario 64 level? Was it next to the thermometer?
I should know what Vista Pro is, but I've forgotten. What is Vista Pro?
It is a 3D landscape creator that will randomly generate landscapes for you, and you tell it like, oh, I want this many trees, and I want this much variation in ground types, and this much water, and this is a sea level for this area, and it'll randomly make it, and then you can look at it in the rendered view. And
When programs like that say they're going to randomly generate it, I know they're going to randomly generate it inside a set of normalcy. When a 3D terrain generator has a button that says random, I want that shit to look like Tartarus.
Right? Like, that would always be amazing. Like the kid who went too retarded in SimCity. Like, we'll have a block of park here, and then a block of park there, a power line in the middle of nowhere, some streets, a railroad.
A floating ball of construction equipment just hovering along the city streets.
We're gonna have some houses here. Not too many bulldozers.
Why can't we die?
man, I wish that you had more control over what happened in the new SimCity.
Yeah, I wish the new SimCity was good.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I talked Tosh into not buying that at launch. She was pretty close. I was like, no, it's always online. Don't do it. And it was like, da, 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 as her hand was like approaching.
She would have got the amazing gift of Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Oh God!
Yeah,
they give that out as an apology.
They gave out like 4 different games, and Need for Speed Most Wanted was the only one that was like legitimately like thank you.
Even made any time in the last 5 years.
Well, I mean, there was Battlefield 3 Vanilla Edition. It's just you already own that, and so did my coworker who owns SimCity. He already owned that, and I'm like, he's like, this isn't. I guess I'm getting Need for Speed.
Yeah, I remember I was going to buy SimCity, but they're like, well, it doesn't work anyway, so wait till it works and then buy it. I'm like, okay, then it works. They're like, eh. I'm like, well, okay.
See, I never knew when the "oh, it works" moment happened.
It was about a month later that it was finally
Really?
okay.
Okay.
After a week, it was working?
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's
No.
like
See,
your
that's the
car's
thing,
on,
though, like,
but it
nobody-
doesn't drive it anywhere.
Nobody
You
ever
can't
said
go above llama speed or something like that. Okay, it was the second high speed, but it wasn't the max speed. That was too much.
What was it? Like the month after, I remember some people being like, "It's working," and then other people being like, "No," because I was
You
like,
can play it. That doesn't mean it's working.
"Like it's working sometimes," and I'm like, "Sometimes isn't working, guys."
Oh, the all digital, all the time future sounds amazing.
It is.
Always online.
Always
It's just
online
The real
is
future
amazing.
of gaming.
Oh, definitely. Oh, the cloud.
The cloud.
The cloud.
You know, I really should have just gone back in time at this point. And when SimCity didn't work and my coworker was just goddamn angry, I should have been like, "Hey, have you seen Titanfall?" Okay, so I'm gonna get the piddly news out of the way first.
Piddly news?
Yeah.
Is this news about piddling?
No,
No?
nor is it news about Pid.
Oh.
So, Chaos Rings, the Square Enix RPG for iOS and Android, is apparently came out on PlayStation Mobile in Japan. So that's cool, because it was a JRPG they made specifically for those platforms.
Oh,
They made it for iOS, and then it finally came to Android like 2 years later, and now it's coming to PlayStation Mobile.
Chaos Rings.
Chaos Rings.
Was that one that was like fully 3D?
Yeah.
And this isn't a Sonic game. Mm-mm. Chaos Rings is not
But
a Sonic
but
game.
it's not a Chaos Emerald or a Gold Ring. See, that's how they did it. They were like, switch it up.
Does
We're gonna
the
have
subtitle
gold
involve
emeralds.
Scrolls at all?
No, it has gold emeralds.
Gold emeralds.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
This is so depressing. There's a Gran Turismo movie in development with the producers
God.
with being produced by the duo behind The Social Network. I can only hope David Fincher's making it. That's like,
Okay.
that's
Like,
all
I don't
got.
even know what to expect from this movie.
A man once said, "You can make a good movie out of anything," and I believe that. There are better racing games to. There are racing games
There are racing
to make
games, yeah.
a movie out of with any kind of plot or charisma to them.
I
So-
think that most of this movie is going to take place in the car dealership.
Like,
And you just have millions of dollars.
yeah, like, so
It's a build-off.
my theory is that you follow a man as he runs one circuit, wins for some reason with the stock car he bought at a dealership, and then gets so much money that he just buys and builds cars way better than everyone else
Right.
and wins from might alone.
Gran Turismo is not the game where like the scrappy underdog comes from behind with innate talent and the will to win.
Maybe
This whole movie is just about Kazunori
Like
Yamuchi.
the Swedish
Yeah, there
team
you
with
go.
the black sports car is gonna win here. How have we not had an American-made Initial D movie yet? That seems like something that would have happened.
We have Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
That's it. They figured that was enough.
it's
Wasn't
because Americans aren't that much into drifting. Like
That too.
like we aren't as crazy into
Not.
drifting as Japan. I don't.
I mean,
or even the rest of the world, honestly.
our mountains aren't as paved, but seriously, come on. Drifting.
Come on, seriously,
Seriously.
guys.
Formula One. 2-foot wide tires. Let's drift that shit.
You know what? I'm just gonna push it off even further because this is gonna be such a huge news article that I regret putting it first. I'm gonna push it off even further. So their Steam Greenlight got 16 more. That's disingenuous to call them titles, but it got 16 more things.
Oh.
Greenlit. 2 of them are software. 14 of them are games.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
One
what
of
is
them
the
is a
software?
graphic editor. It's like graphics editor, open canvas, and one of them's an audio editor, and it's like some guy's name. It's like Ed Soft
Huh.
Audio something, and I love that. I love actual
Yeah.
software like that showing up on Steam. That's a much better model than whatever they're trying to currently.
Or I really want to know if those are good now. Just it's a really interesting
Maybe
thing that they show
we
up
should
there. and-
pester them for a review copy so it can sit on my hard drive next to Deandra at 99
Review
spirits.
copy of Edsoft Sound Editor. We should quick play it.
Oh, wow.
It's great for editing podcasts. People listening, this sounds like shit. The hell it is.
No, we should totally quick play the graphics editor, though.
That actually does sound really fun. And
Dan, you remember rule 1
can't.
about making anything to do with video games?
No.
Somebody's going to draw a penis with it.
Okay. Oh, dear. I don't think this has to do with video games, but...
I got to tell you, I have often thought of taking like an hour or two, sitting down with fireworks, and just drawing a penis and just emailing it to you to see your reaction. But I know me and fireworks projects, and it'd be like hour 4, and I'm trying to get a good shading effect on the pubes so it looks like the light's all coming from the right direction. And I'm like, I've spent 4 hours making this penis. I'm in love with it.
Fuck, Gagro. What the fuck? So one of the Steam games, Greenlight games, is Dive Kick, and another one's Deadly Premonition Director's Cut. So I like this batch.
It's pretty good.
I like this batch from that alone. Got some Dive Kick, got some Deadly Premonition. Because I kind of missed the boat on buying Deadly Premonition on console. That boat sailed twice, and I wasn't there.
You could probably still find it if you really wanted to.
I mean, I could. I meant to send an email to the people who made that game and try to get a review copy of the PS3 one, but fucking... I forgot to.
A review.
That's what... Duh. We do all sorts of reviews here at GigaBoots.com.
We do a lot of... I would have reviewed that. This is fucking... Have you seen the... Yeah, you've seen the sandwich scene where it's talking about the delicious, tasty crunch. It's a cereal... Turkey cereal and raspberry jam sandwich.
Okay, now that I don't remember.
Fuck, that is just too amazing. See, it is ripe with material to make your cutaway jokes out of, which is basically reenacting or eating that sandwich. It's ripe for that. I don't know. I've spoiled the review that Future Me's making. Sorry, Future Me. I didn't memorize all 16. Those are the 2 highlights for me. So look it up on the internet if you give a shit. Moving on, Disgaea D2 has a trailer. Bob said he already mentioned this in the podcast, which is like bringing up in the news story section. Let's go ahead and talk about this. So there's a trailer for Disgaea D2.
Boom.
Done.
Fuck you, Bob.
We got, what was it? Eidos Montreal's founder is saying that Square Enix sucks at their job, basically.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, they aren't marketing our games
Who doesn't
well.
say that these days?
In the game industry, no one. No one's averse to saying that except for Naughty Dog. But that's different.
They're French.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where is Eidos? I haven't been
Well,
sure.
that's Eidos Montreal.
Oh,
so
okay.
in Montreal.
There we go.
Ahead, Bob.
Tiny
Ask
hint.
us where Eidos Montreal is.
I thought it was
Bob,
just Eidos.
Bob, no, we're giving you an opportunity. It's okay. There's no shame on the GigaBoots podcast asking where Montreal is. Right next to the entire game development community, in case you were wondering. Man, wonder when the city of Montreal or Montreal is going to cut all those tax benefits. Like, when is that going to happen? Because that's going to fucking
you're
hurt.
entrenched. Cut.
They're like, ha 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 ha! Entrenched! You're funny! Fires everyone. That's the game development business. It's
Wow.
fucking terrifying. Like, you remember when
every game developer everywhere is going to move to Detroit and save the city, right?
They're gonna move to Detroit and die. That's what happens when you move to Detroit.
No. They need to move to Detroit, pay a shit ton of taxes. We'll have crappy games for like a decade, but they'll save the city of Detroit. Murder rates will go down, and we can finally go, look, video games decrease violent crime.
That's actually, like, no joke. Somebody already made that point of, like, Detroit, tax benefits, game industry, come on, we can do it.
Nice.
There
I
are
honestly-
plenty of just empty buildings they could fill up.
I know, right?
Squatters game development. It's
And
a brand new day.
What are you losing there? You really aren't losing much because you're getting so much money from people actually living there. But yeah, so Montreal's got their shit together. Basically nowhere else does. Except for Kansas City, Missouri with their Google internet. Like, they figured that out.
They will be the first to be subsumed into the hive.
That theme from The Dark Knight Returns starts playing. Shh, shh, What are they saying? I don't know. Fucking Google it. So we got a review of the Ouya from Polygon where they gave it a 5 out of 10. I think the best part of this is Dr. Agro's reaction. It's fucking had me in stitches because he's just reading it. Maybe we should pull it up just to get that sentence verbatim.
God.
Because
Yeah, that's it was quite nice.
it was nice. I like it. Man, this Google Drive app gets a little weird sometimes. It's like trying to reconnect. Trying to get back to our roots.
Google Drive is like, no, this file's name is Toby. And like, no, Google Drive, it's Kuntikite.
It's like not okay. Look, I said it once already, but it's not. Was it in the conclusion or the opening?
It was the opening. It was the first fucking sentence.
There you fucking go.
The Ouya occupies a strange place between console familiarity and the weird Wild West of the mobile market.
That button doesn't work too much.
No, the fuck it doesn't. Neither that button nor that sentence. It occupies a weird place. And the thing, I really would like people to stop trying to pretend along together that the Ouya isn't just a piece of shit some random asshole made.
That shitloads of people bought.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people bought the Ouya. It's still just a piece of shit. It was a dumb idea that dumb people bought.
A lot of people bought the Ouya. Not a lot of people got the Ouya. Those who did went, uh-oh, man, you guys are in for a surprise.
It's this big Duke Nukem style. Everybody knew it was going to suck. Everybody bought it anyway. Now everybody's trying to figure out how it fits into the larger picture of console narrative and how it's changing the game with... It's just a shitty piece of technology. And we really need to stop treating it like it's sitting at the big boy table.
Like, see, the amazing thing here is that a lot of what they were trying to do with Ouya was bring back the sort of Commodore 64 style of your home console unit is a development console. Mm-hmm. Like, and that was really cool conceptually, but the thing's a piece of shit.
Right.
Right. So that was
basically like saying your phone is your own development tool, which it is.
Right.
But
no, that's not even at all the same thing. $3,000 Mac, $2,000 Mac on top of getting your phone. I mean,
I was talking about Android phone, not.
So your $2,000 PC, $1,000 PC. Either way, it's not your development environment. Whereas the Ouya, you could just code straight into it and then run the code.
About that. That's.
Admittedly, you need tools that somehow ran on the Ouya.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, Android is closer to that though than iOS. Kind of. I say closer, but really the only difference is, well, this one you have to own Windows or something that works. Well, I guess, can you make Android apps in Linux? I guess you could.
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not, but I haven't looked into it.
I'm trying to remember.
It's kind of like, why can't I make C# code on Linux? Because they don't want you to.
I'm pretty sure you can.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe there's some tiny detail. There always seems to be.
Isn't all of Android actually built on some Linux
Yeah,
framework?
it's like a Linux kernel under all of it, and then tons of bloated shit on top.
Whoa. Is it the Xbox One?
No, it's the Ouya. It's madness. No, I didn't say it had 3 kernels in it. And none of them made fried chicken. That is not what I said.
Shit. It's been a long time since I've played Metal Gear Solid 2. How many kernels were there at the end of that game?
I think only one of them, but it implied thus universally there were 2.
I think one of them turned into popcorn.
But yeah, so I think that's everything.
Also, the Ouya's controller is stupid.
Yeah. Which part?
The shape
all
of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing to break off and analyze. It's like the Ouya. There's nothing to break off and analyze. That's stupid.
Why don't you run some sort of Michael Pachter-like show yet? That's just... There's really nothing to analyze here. It's just stupid.
This is just stupid on its face. Roll credits.
Yeah, the build quality is also dick, and the sticks don't read the coordinates
Didn't
correctly.
some asshole like kickstart faceplates for that fucking thing?
Yeah, because that was a larger part of why the build quality shit. Because they have replaceable faceplates.
Oh, it's like the original Xbox 360.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I went back to MySpace a couple of years ago to see what it looked like. And oh god, they drove that customizability hard. They're like, you can change every aspect of it. Yeah, but it's still MySpace. Nobody cares.
Yep. Just so we're clear on this. You know Justin Timberlake owns MySpace.
What?
I forgot that happened.
When it bottomed out, he actually is an investor in tech companies, so he bought it because it was cheap as dirt.
he, like,
and making
swooped
his
in
money
and
back
picked
would
it
have
up.
been
That's
pretty easy. Yeah, it's kind of funny because he also plays the guy who made Napster in the movie The Social Network, so it's like layers of... He is both a fake investor in tech companies and a real one. And a musician and a dancer. Okay, stop.
Too much.
You have too many jobs.
Fucking Justin Timberlake, man.
Fucking chill.
I wanted to hate him for so long, but fuck, that is a sexy, talented motherfucker. I hate his music, but still.
I hate anybody who spirals off of a boy band, like anything like that. So
But Joey Fatone. Globetrotting basketballier.
No, we're what? No,
What? Joey Fatone.
we're not. Moving on to the next
He
story.
killed the Olsen twins.
The Olsen twins are alive and well. What are you talking about? Moving on. Googles if the Olsen twins are alive and well. Verbatim. They're just alive. They aren't well.
They are not well.
They're not sick, but they aren't well.
Didn't one of them go on crack?
I
One.
heard
Yeah, like one of them went on crack rehab, and then there was the story that maybe they were both on crack and they were switching in and out of rehab as a joke.
It's not a bad idea.
It is a bad idea to try and rubber
Which
band
part,
your way
crack or-
into like rehab-worthy crack addiction and perfectly healthy back and forth over the course of a couple of weeks. You'll die. Like you'll die from regular crack, but you will super die from that.
Moving on. Microsoft announced that the Xbox One allows self-publishing and that each retail unit is going to be a dev console.
that is
Woo!
pretty crazy.
There's a fucking point to this thing now. It has one very noteworthy feature that the other one doesn't. Now, what they're talking about is apparently it's going to be similar to iTunes, and there's going to be a 14-day certification process when you make a thing. So you send them the code, you get the cert process, and then 14 days, as long as you didn't do something hilariously retarded, like try to expose the system inner workers, which I think that OS layer and that clunky, like bloated separation of it works well to prevent them from doing weird shit to the console. So, I'm not sure that this was their game plan the whole time, considering they were saying the exact opposite of, like, we don't allow self-publishing.
Yeah,
I was
and now they're
wondering
like,
about
this is such a huge.
They were
This
like,
is
we
a-
don't do it for reasons. Fuck off.
This is like a larger 180, in my opinion, than the fucking DRM thing. This is just like, we don't allow self-publishing. This is the best thing to self-publish on ever.
Right, I have to wonder, like, what the heck happened? Like, did they just think of this, or did they think it was a good idea to tell people we don't allow self-publishing at all at first?
They apparently were planning on announcing this at Gamescom, but then it leaked out.
Right, but it's like, you'd think they'd take a position if we're not talking about it yet, and not a position of no, you can't do that, it's bad.
Right? It's
But-
weird.
Yeah,
Or
I
they
don't-
just switched because they've had, I don't know if you've heard, but Microsoft has had a couple of PR bumps in the
Really?
road recently.
I must have missed those.
There's been
I
a
saw
little bit
Titanfall
of-
though.
Well, then you might not have seen this through Titanfall's all-cleansing radiance. Microsoft had a rough patch where some people thought maybe it wasn't the best thing since sliced bread.
What?
I don't. How could they think that?
I don't know. It may be by listening to anything coming out of Microsoft in the last several months. And then this happens. And I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop where you can code straight to the thing, but to unlock that feature cost an additional $800.
Well, like they have already said that there is going to be a fee associated with it, and they'll sign up to a website and all that to become a.
Yeah.
You can
because-
self-publish. To get this program, you need a publisher.
I have to wonder.
That would be really
That would be
funny.
hilarious. If Whipper Gamescom, you get to hear the rest of this great stuff.
And then it just is a bag of bricks.
Yep.
Wow, that would be terrible.
Yeah, that
'Cause
would be the
I'm-
worst.
Like, this
Mark
is so
PR.
cool. I'm actually excited about the Xbox One. Like, that huge of a reversal of, like, wow, being able to run and develop your own games on your own console, similar to Xbox Live Indie thing, except for without these terrible, like, you can only make it in XNA, and it's in this shit marketplace. Like,
Right.
without both of those, that's pretty cool.
It isn't really cool.
Yeah.
I hope that Sony follows suit, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't count on it.
That
'cause
is a huge,
really...
desperate, oh god, indies, please come back.
I could see them following suit. I don't. I think they are capable of following suit. I don't know if they actually are, like if they're going to,
Yeah,
or if
like,
they have.
technically they could, but I don't know. They've been really cool recently, and maybe they're tired.
There's the bizarre thing of like, look at the Xbox One's OS. It has like 3 gigs for the OS, and then 5 for the games, and then there's the separation of the hypervisor, which allows them to separate.
Fire optic blasts.
Yeah, the optic blasts and lead the X-Men
That's how you develop games on the Xbox One.
by being Cyclops.
Right, that's why they have the 2-camera thing.
PS4 is more like Storm.
Right?
You just fly around and you're like, I'm from Africa! And you fucking shoot shit
She
everywhere.
does
Like,
not talk like that.
she does in the cartoon!
Yeah, she does.
It's fucking terrible. That's why I didn't like her. It was just the fucking... She was
I
such
didn't like
a
her
stereotype.
because every now and then she goes back to Africa and lets some tribe worship her as a goddess.
Huh.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
that's pretty bad.
I have a new reason to not like Storm.
You remember the Mohawk era?
No?
She had a mohawk for a while.
I saw that.
She had a couple different mohawks.
Maybe that's an improvement. I don't know.
It's not.
It's you sure?
They were awful mohawks.
Okay.
Isn't she kind of old for a mohawk?
How old is she?
It's a comic book, guys. You can't ask how old a character is. That doesn't exist.
Right, that's a good point. It's tenuous at best. At worst, it is literally undefined as a value.
Wolverine's the only one who's like, how old are you? No one knows. Stop fucking asking me.
Isn't Nightcrawler another one of those? Yeah, he's ancient or something. I don't know.
He gets younger every time they put him back in the comic.
Who?
Like Nightcrawler?
Oh, yeah.
He shows up and he looks about 32. And then he comes back and he looks about 24.
One of my girlfriends back in high school actually had a thing for Nightcrawler. I'm like, okay, that's special.
Demonic German guy. All right.
Okay, blue furry.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those things combined. Not specifically any one element. It was just the combination of... Maybe that's why. Maybe they looked at their polls and they were like, hey, 16-year-old chicks are really into this dude. Maybe he shouldn't be twice their age.
And maybe he should stop being such an angsty bitch all the time. Old
That'll
X-Men,
ruin
he was
it.
all like,
Yeah.
he was
That'll
always
ruin
talk-
it,
No,
right?
seriously, that's what they did. Nightcrawler used to be all like, "Oh, everyone hates me because I'm different, and I grew up in a Lutheran church." No, and then every now and then, when he's in a show or a book series, he's like, "I'm fucking young and hip and cool, and I don't give a shit about nothing."
Yeah,
Yeah, that was X-Men Evolved was like that.
X-Men Evolution,
yeah.
and Wolverine didn't
I
get to
think
kill
we
anybody.
got really far off base here,
Man,
guys.
you remember that theme? It was so good. It was like, no, X-Men. No, X-Men. No, X-Men. X-Men. That was, that was one of the best themes for a cartoon of our time.
Wendigo!
Wendigo! Fuck, Wendigo. What the fuck?
Right?
God, it, like, consumes human flesh in this evil forest and then transforms into a I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Stop doing it!
That's what Wendigos do.
I got a problem, or I have a solution to this problem. Everyone stop eating people. I know, I'm saying it and I'm looking at you two, and you're like, we don't eat people, but somebody is.
Because there are lots
we
of
got all these
Wendigos.
Wendigos.
Tries feverishly to hide deer antlers.
Nice beard. It's wrapping up over your head.
Yeah,
little-
it's
little
my beard
suspect.
turban, and
Oh.
you need to stop insulting my religion.
I'm sorry.
You should be.
I'm really sorry.
Now hold this salt.
Oh. Okay. How long do I?
Oh no, just a little. Well, we spilled a little on you there.
Oh, damn it!
Here, just rub it, and that'll just rub it in there.
Okay.
That'll rub right
This
out.
kind of hurts.
Yeah, just keep rubbing.
Just keep rubbing. Agra from GigaBoots. Just keep rubbing Xbox One. Like that. Why? Whoa. Power to the players. But yeah, I don't know. My interest went from like, why the fuck are any of you goddamn idiots pre-ordering or buying this console to, okay, this is now pretty cool and I could see myself owning one. I really wish Kinect wasn't attached. Because not only is that
non-negotiable.
Not only is that thing half the price of the console, which I believe we brought up last week, did we?
I think so.
Okay. But fucking just, I don't want that camera.
But every game's gonna use it.
They're even saying the indies can make games that use the Kinect, right?
Okay.
And, you know, I understand the need for that sort of thing. Like, I wish the PlayStation Eye was incorporated in the PS4 because, you know, the light bar and, like, cool stuff. For people, like, just to preface that information with a little context, see, there's this thing, it's called latency. It's the reason why Kinect is shit, and the PS4 Eye could remotely be good. Video games tend to not play well with devices with latency over 100 milliseconds.
Right.
Because that's an internet connection.
Now,
wait a second.
I know that like the console won't even function at all without the Kinect plugged in and turned on.
Yeah.
But could I turn it on and wrap it in electrical tape and throw it behind my TV?
Yes, that's what everyone's planning on doing.
Okay. I didn't know if it's like the light sensor's not like your room's not bright enough, Xbox off. You shouldn't be playing video games in the dark. It's not so we can absolutely spy on you.
Oh no, it doesn't even need the light anymore to do that. It has infrared sensor, so it's able to see you in absolute darkness.
I really can't wait. You know, because it's a console. It's gonna get hacked at some point. I can't wait for that hack. Like the first announcement isn't, hey, look what we got running on the Xbox One. It's, hey, look what we found was running on the Xbox One.
I'm just waiting for the company that's going to produce the dummy Kinect. That's got to be a thing.
Yeah, it's just a little dongle you can plug in. It's totally on.
Yep, everything's all right here. Man, you're rather high-pitched today, Kinect. You feeling all right?
Your phone rings, you answer it. It's Microsoft Dev. They're like, hey,
your room's dark. Can you brighten it?
We don't hear anything coming from your living room. Are you all right? We're concerned about you.
We hear the most terrifying sound coming from your living room. Now, see that? I would buy it if it had that feature. You plug it in, it has a constant audio loop of like this. What is it? There's this crack in the ice in Russia or some shit.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the Russian hole.
If it looped that sound, I would just like, and Microsoft's like, what is going on?
I was 12 when I heard that sound, and someone told me it was hell. They had found hell in the deepest hole in the world in Russia.
Uh-huh.
That shit was horrifying.
I have somehow not heard of this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
we'll have to
gases going through rock and like tectonic friction and magma and shit, and it makes this horrible gnashing wailing sound.
Yeah.
Wow.
And gnashing and wailing
like humans screaming.
It does. It's fucking horrifying, and I want that on loop for Microsoft, so that way when they're like, okay, let's see, what the fuck's with this guy's console? Man, that would be the best thing ever. Your Xbox One is glitching. It is having a red ring of death. We will now loop the
so Microsoft guy's like, holy shit, Chad's got to hear this. And he calls up Chad his phone. Chad, do you hear this shit? He puts the phone next to the thing, and some NSA guy's like, what the fuck is that?
What did you put in this? So,
some guy cracks the Xbox One Prism. What does that mean?
Huh. Oh. I know Bob's seen it, and like I feel like one of the worst things a podcast can do, maybe it's just me, is sit there and be like, hey, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. Cool.
Right.
And that's it. But apparently Dragon's Crown was originally a Dreamcast game, and the style was very different.
I saw that.
Okay.
That was pretty crazy.
Like no over-sexualized, like super manly men and super busty women. It was weird.
But
Everyone
pretty
was...
weird designs. Like the warrior didn't have pants. Had lower half wrapped in random cords.
Nice. Rope pants.
Rope
Now, let's back up a little bit. It's starting to bother me when we use the term over-sexualized to refer to that female character design in Dragon's Crown, because I would not have sex with that.
No, wait, which one? Sorceress or Amazon? Let's go. We're talking about
Sorceress. I haven't seen the Amazon.
Amazon's like a brick house. She's fucking made of muscle.
Nice.
She's the thing. If it wasn't brick and it was flesh and it was a woman. No,
I like how everyone's
stop
freaking out about these designs after I've seen Muramasa, and man, they're pretty much the same thing.
But see, Kotaku wasn't nearly as in zeitgeist then.
Right.
So, of course, Jason Schreier, speaking of which, we got a wonderful video to show you, so that way you know who the man Jason Schreier is. But you at home don't get to watch! No, there's a video of, Killzone Shadowfall, where he's trying to show off the game, and he doesn't, he's a games journalist. I'm trying to watch this video, and I just hear you in the back of my head, the ending of the last podcast, talking about adding value. And the guy won't aim down the scope at all.
What?
Running completely left in front of enemies, causing all sort of alert statuses, firing from the hip. He was so incapable of playing a first-person shooter in 2013 that he did not aim or look around intelligently.
Huh.
I don't care what sort of status your brain is in, because these things are taxing. Like, it's really taxing to go to events like this.
Right, yeah.
When someone else is handling the camera and all you have to do is play the game and say some quips at the producers so they'll direct their questions, you shouldn't be at the level of poor playing where you don't look down the scope. That's insane. That's insane. That is like in Mario not knowing you can run in the 2D ones in 2013. That is...
I know a guy who didn't.
We know a guy.
Yeah, we know the same guy.
I know a guy. We know a guy. Yeah, we know the same guy. But yeah, but he, and we sort of, the only person we could think of it was that same guy. Like, who in their right mind would go to an event and not look down the scopes in a first-person shooter? Like, who would... It was the same guy. But at the same time, he's not a fucking game journalist. That's the point here. Jason Schreier should know enough about a first-person shooter to attempt to look down a scope in 2013. He was just ridiculous. He had to give up trying to play the game 4 minutes in because he got shot to death. And then the producer had to play. And still Jason Schreier had no questions of remote interest to ask the guy.
Yeah, even when he's sitting there showing off new features and all this other stuff, he's just looking at it like there's nothing going on he can talk about.
He's like, so it's a game. And this is kind of the attitude I feel a lot of people are carrying in with them when they cover the Sony games. Like, for some reason, they're all like, Sony doesn't have anything I'm interested in. And I'm like, did you notice how the level design in Killzone is now more like Halo, but it still maintains a tight shooter element, and you also have all of these abilities? Did you notice that? Did you notice how Infamous Second Son looked fucking awesome and fixed all of the problems of the Infamous series? Can you please give a remote shit before you dismiss these games? And we're GigaBoots!
Well,
we do 450 quick plays! We're hundreds of them. We just go, wow, this game's terrifying. Please make it go away.
But Dan, have you seen Titanfall?
I guess I haven't seen it in person. The irradiance must be so much more irradiant. Yeah, it's just, I hate Jason Schreier. I didn't need to see his incapability of covering games to already hate the guy, because he is a shit stirrer. He is a guy who's just trying to get people, pissed.
Yeah, he's a view grabber. That's all he is.
He is. He's, so much of the Kotaku staff sucks, which is why now that Laser Frog's there, it's kind of weird, but I'm not going to comment on Laser Frog.
Noted.
Which, for those who read Kotaku and wondering what the fuck's a laser frog, the person who's making those videos that where his name is Leo Wichtowski, that's Laser Frog. His YouTube name is Laser Frog.
Right.
In any case, yeah, sounds like a car trying to start up. I don't like this car, Daddy. You're gonna drive it, honey. This is gonna be your first car. It was my first car in World War I.
Whoa.
Cars. Cars have changed.
And this is where, if it was a life well wasted podcast, we'd start playing some acoustic Spanish guitar. You should really listen to it. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's a fucking weird podcast. Like, the dude spends, like, I guess, multiple months doing each episode, and he composes his own music to play in the background behind these people telling their stories of game development and things like that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, here's the thing, right? We come from we were PlayStation fans in the PS3 gen, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And at the beginning of the PS3 gen, there was a lot of douchery about Sony. Like it was thick.
Yep.
Dealing with the bullshit.
Well, we should work 2 jobs to get PlayStation 3, right?
Huh?
We should work 2 jobs to get PlayStation 3, right?
Right. We should work 2 jobs to have PlayStation 3. And if we're lucky enough to have 2 1080p HD TVs in our home in 2005, then we can really enjoy the quality that PS3 has to offer. But in any case, the point of this I'm getting to is that I cannot stand Larry Herb, Major Nelson. Samsung TV sleepy. I cannot stand the man. He's not human. I'm so used to nowadays, because Sony got better. Like, they have actual human beings at various things. Like, Jack Tretton's way more likable than most of the people Sony had early on.
Right.
And he's the low end for human being at Sony currently. Like, everyone else has a personality, and it's really funny to hear them in interviews, like, just laughing and acting like a human being. So when you go to Major Nelson, and it's like, Conan O'Brien did that video where he went to E3, and he's like, why should I get the Xbox One? And he's like, okay, we got the sensor. And he, like, throws up a rectangle with his fingers. And it's like, he's not even calling it Kinect at this point. He's calling it the sensor. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. Is it so impossible to find somebody who is charismatic and gives a shit about your products?
At that high level of corporate structure, yes. Because it's a cult mentality. It's an insular thing. They're too blind and dumb. Please see, they tried to shield their shit at EVO.
Yeah.
They have no idea what the fuck is going on in the outside world.
I mean, they're basically still rocking it like Jay Allard in 05 at the lying down on the stage.
Yes, getting real and rapping with the kids. That was the day I decided to hate them forever.
Some part of me is like, man, Jay Allard was better than what we have now. But then I remember, God, Jay Allard.
He was better. That doesn't say anything.
Right? Jesus. Because sometimes I can forget about that conference. Where they had, a studio audience in the first 5 rows, and he's laying on the... how did that get approved?
I mean, like, being bad at trying to court us is a lot better than Don Matrick being openly hostile at us. What the fuck do you mean you don't like the Xbox One? What, are you stupid?
You should probably go buy a 360.
Buy 360.
Buy the one that looks like the Xbox One.
Like, I love when he left and they were just talking about, oh yeah, we've been planning this for months and this was just a strategic move that finally lined up. It's like, okay, firstly, you didn't stay for the product launch. Wow, that's kind of a dirtbag thing to do, to just be like, and bye. 2, if you were planning this for months and you were acting like that, holy shit!
Right? That just paints him as, wow.
You don't like the Xbox One? Maybe you like this Xbox! Zip! Ugh! You want to get 360? Whoa, this guy had too many shots.
I expect there was a meeting at Zynga where he's like, okay, so when's my first press conference? They're like, what? No, asshole. We're paying you to run the business side of this company. You don't talk to people.
We don't fucking let you do that.
I wonder if
Turn
Phil
in your
Harrison
Twitter.
got shuffled out during that big reorganization.
I didn't see his name come up once
Right?
Yeah.
in the listings of who's heading what. Like, what is Phil Harrison doing at that company?
He's back to Atari. What?
Phil Harrison is vice president of wishing he were still working at Sony.
Yeah, yeah. Needless to say, his luck was terrible on that. Like, he was there. Well, I mean, I guess Phil Harrison was there since at least 02, 03, something like that. Like, he was there for some of the good PS2.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he showed up for the worst part of the PS3 and then left before the PS3 got good. And, yeah. I like how, this is the coolest thing about Sony, I think. They have people at their company, like, I think it's one person's specific job, who's just really goddamn into indie shit and does all the
isn't he
communications
that one
for
was on stage and introducing all those indie devs?
Yeah.
That
guy's really, like, the fact they have a dude who does that is so smart and so street cred outrageous.
I really like the fact that they have a games division.
I like that too. I like
how
they
Microsoft does not have that. It has a devices division. That's insane to me.
Well, Bob, they made the sensor.
Well, they got the sensor.
The sensor. Okay.
Do they have a Titanfall division, and can I go and see it?
They aren't even making Titanfall.
They aren't making any of their, like, they have no internal
Have you
development
seen
studios.
the Rise comments that have been coming out recently from Crytek?
God, no.
From Crytek? No.
Yeah, because they've apparently been getting lots and lots of bad press since they showed it at Comic-Con. Because people actually got to touch it, and they're like, this is garbage.
Right.
If you don't like Rise, though, you really should just buy a 360.
But they've literally been backpedal their crazy saying, oh, well, this isn't what we're really going for. This isn't going to be like the final game is. We won't have those button prompts and that sort of stuff. We're going to switch those to audio cues and other things. And it's like, guys, the game comes out in 4 months.
It's too fucking late.
Right? There's nothing you can do that's going to fundamentally change that game.
I don't know. They may just shut it down and try to add to that list of great games that will never come out.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Right, they were going to fix Rise. It was going to happen, you guys.
You guys.
They were going to take out the button prompts. They were going to make a completely open world. And they were going to add in this giant, like, Chihuahua chicken monster.
Yeah, so
New
like,
Guys sounds amazing.
Titanfall and Dead Rising 3 are the only things that I see, like I don't see them as better than what Sony's coming in with, but apparently the entire journalism industry does.
Damn,
so, like,
it's
Dead
a
Rising
shooter
3's got open
and
world
open
zombies.
world.
Zombies open world.
Fuck Dead Rising 3.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Super want to play Titanfall, though. I mean, seriously. Have you seen Titanfall? That game looks amazing.
it is coming to the PC, you know.
Ooh.
Which is, what was it, our last podcast when we kept making the Titanfall jokes. And some person replied, have you seen Titanfall? Yes, I have. I'm getting it on PC, ... Which, yeah, I don't blame him. The cloud's really not, it's not going to fundamentally change the gameplay
It's going to be
experience.
completely different. Oh, right. That's the other thing I read the other day. That, what was... Mark Cerny actually came out and said cloud computing would not be suited to graphics.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
I forgot that happened. I've yet to watch that video.
Honestly, I think that's what really needs to happen going forward. We need the guys who build this shit to come out and just go, no.
I like how it's just a competition through honesty. Like, that's just the best, most perversion. Like, that's a huge perversion of the concept of capitalism.
Right.
Like, capitalism is supposed to be the exact opposite of that. But instead, it's like some company being like, we're going to make the cloud. Well, we've got the sensor, but with the cloud, you'll be able to do amazing things. And then the other company competes by coming out and going, That's not possible at all.
The yes RAM will let us do so much.
I've heard that GDR3 RAM is a lot better for robots. It's really
Are we
good
building robots?
It's really good at doing robot AI in a video game as opposed
just
to
DDR3.
as opposed to human AI.
It's just DDR3.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than 5 at that.
Yeah.
Robot AI.
Robot AI?
Yeah, specifically.
Where did
what is
you
robot
hear
AI?
this?
The
What
internet.
amazing font of wisdom spewed this
I don't
into
know.
your brain?
I go to a lot of places with true facts on the internet, and I read things that are true. I don't have to prove myself to you.
Did they mention
The
like
PS3 sucked for a long time, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm prepping.
Like here's the thing. I keep hearing people being like, oh man, Sony completely changed halfway through this gen. I'm like we were talking about it when it actually happened. We always had this larger problem with people complaining about Sony are really bad about complaining about Sony. Like that was a large problem this gen. They're like, how come we don't have this feature you never promised? And I'm like, guys, how come we don't have all of the features they did promise?
Right, and some of the features we did have.
Where are the 7 video chats simultaneously with Gran Turismo 5?
What happened to popping up picture-in-picture shit with dudes in China while my game does not drop frame rate?
What happened to my camera analyzing a car that's spinning and reconstructing it into gears and things? What
Right?
What
Where
happened
was
to
putting
that?
my friends' faces on like every enemy soldier in a game?
Right? Where's that?
The Game Boy Color did that shit, you guys.
By the time we
Whoa,
hit
the 3DS did that.
Whoa.
By the time we hit the PlayStation Move, they're like, okay, we can't. This is what it does. And they show it up on stage and everyone's not excited except for me. I'm like, that's amazing. I want a Gladiator game. And then Sports Champions comes out and it has that Gladiator game. And I'm like, yay.
Yeah,
And then that was the only thing that ever was good.
Yeah, because nobody else.
Wow, this actually functions really well. Too bad nobody's going to make anything for this.
Right? And so incorporating that into the PS4 would have been a good move gameplay-wise, which is really sad because Microsoft has really tainted Microsoft and Nintendo has really tainted the water for motion control. Like, most people have not tried Move because they presume it's going to work just as well as the Wiimote.
Right.
And probably as shit-tacular latency of the Kinect, which is it is completely the opposite. Like, it's really responsive.
Heroes on the Move probably didn't help any.
I doubt most people even know about that.
Oh, wait,
Thank
They did
God.
a good
the final
job.
title? Was it Heroes on the Move or PlayStation Move Heroes?
I think it was PlayStation Move Heroes.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Pretty
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
because
because
Heroes on the Move was the better title and they changed it.
But yeah, I think they did a good job of burying that anyways. Along with Sports Championship 2, which is a thing apparently.
Did you guys see that, what was it, Sorcery or whatever finally came out on sale for like $5 or $6?
Jesus.
That
on the
Wiggle
PlayStation.
Fest was quite something.
You were shooting things with the wizard wand.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, right?
No.
No, not really.
They
Where's
gave
my-
you the big do button. Why wasn't that the shoot button? And then you did like this waving for some bigger attack. God, that whole
Because
game.
they didn't think it through. Like, that entire game, I think, was outsourced.
That's a larger problem with motion control, where we try to match it tactily to the action, but I really don't think that's where the potential of motion control lies. Like replacing a button with a whooshy thing, not really the best idea in the world.
No.
But you can build games around that might be fun. Just trying to do some Metroid Prime-esque, like, oh, twist the thing to twist the thing. Like, maybe not.
I mean,
All of that design came from the place of the Wiimote had no buttons. It had like 4. And 2 of them were inaccessible at all times that you were using the pointer aspect of it.
right.
So I don't know why that came over to the PlayStation Move. That thing had enough buttons.
So many buttons.
That thing had 6 that you could touch on one controller.
Whole damn controller split in half.
Goal! I don't.
I'm.
You're not gruff enough to do it.
No, I'm not.
You don't get to do it. I get to do it. How about you, Aggro? Are you gruff enough?
What was the name of the Wii Zapper that Sony made?
Oh, the PlayStation
Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter, yeah.
Sharpshooter.
That thing is pretty pimp.
Yeah, that
is.
thing was really awesome.
That thing was really cool. If Sony just got more people to try that on like I enjoyed Resistance 3 with that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Like if my TV was like 8 feet wide, it would have been a lot more fun. But
That's asking a bit much.
like I really needed more screen space to swing that fucking thing around at.
Yeah, that's so we should rent out one of the theaters at AMC, and yeah.
Man, that would really be a good hardware test to see how far back we can put that fucking thing.
It is a glowing fucking orb.
Like, how far away are you? And you're like 30 feet. PlayStation's like, seriously?
Are you for reals?
Where the fuck are you? Turn the camera around. Holy shit, bro.
I want a game that does that. That actually pretends the camera is a sentient being. It's like, where the fuck are you? Turn that around. Oh my god, that's cool. You got a nice house. Like, whatever. That would
actually be kind of
Leave the
nifty.
door unlocked.
Whoa, what?
I don't like that part.
Well, you know, Danny, if you really want a game where the camera acts like a sentient being that takes in information, buy an Xbox One.
Is life a game now?
Problem solved. Turn on the Xbox One. It's bundled with that fucking Milo game.
Because that's the thing they'll
said
make.
he didn't make. It got too emotionally... Whatever, I'm lying anyway. Who cares?
Everyone knows by now.
Suck it, bitches.
Look at my Lifetime Achievement Award.
I still wonder how he got that.
People keep telling me he's made amazing games.
They keep saying that, but yeah, Black and White and Fable.
Black and White 2.
Black and White 2 wasn't as amazing as 1.
Didn't he make some Ant game?
Not that I know of.
I don't think he was involved.
Because the only Ant game I can think of that was relevant ever was Sim Ant. I don't think he made that.
No, he couldn't have. Will Wright's an American.
It's true.
Americans never work with Brits.
So much bad blood.
Yeah. It's tragic. It really is. If only we could get over our white racism. Are you gonna be alright?
I don't think I am. We had, like 2 wars where we didn't work with England? One of them was the Civil War. And they were this close to coming in on the south side.
Yeah, fuck. Every time I'm reminded of that, I'm like, wow.
Man, we probably would have won. And just to be dicks, we would have given the Union back to England. It's like, we just wanted to leave, but if you want to make a thing out of it, have fun drinking tea, bitch. I'm, of course, paraphrasing General Lee's speech that he never gave upon the Confederate victory.
So we were talking about making a Dynasty Warriors game about American history.
Oh my. Well, let's see where we could do Ethan Allen's Ticonderoga campaign. That was basically him just killing everybody. Oh, if you wanted to sell no copies ever, we could do Sherman's March to the Sea during the Civil War.
That sounds fun. We'll have that be the first mission in the game. You have to earn the game.
So, do you fight the Yellow Turbans?
Say what?
Do you fight the Yellow Turban Rebellion in that?
No, but you do burn a lot of cities down and commit terrible war crimes.
Huh.
Well, they were war crimes until he did them, and then that was just how war was fought after that.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
General Sherman. The North's like, he was a brilliant general. And the South's like, what the fuck did you just say? There are still, actually, some fields with just brick chimneys freestanding in them called Sherman Sentinels. He moved through towns and he burned them down. He went from the Mason-Dixon line to the Gulf of Mexico.
So yeah, I'm not seeing anything other than Black and White and okay, there's this thing called Dungeon Keeper, but that's between Black and White and Fable. Wow, yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was his big achievement, Black and White and Fable.
Wait, I think Theme Park. Yeah, he made Theme
Every time
Park.
he makes a Fable, he's like, this game's gonna be fucking amazing. Then it comes out, and then he's like, that game was trash. Next Fable, it's gonna be fucking amazing.
What was it? Final Bossman was talking about that. How funny that is, I believe. It was him. He was like, it's so hilarious every time a new Call of Duty comes out or something where they're just like, here's last year's Call of Duty.
Oh, that
was shit.
That was Madden they were talking about.
Those weren't people. This game's much better than last year.
Damn it, guys.
Like, I always love that sort of thing. But yeah, he also made Theme Park. Like the game Theme Park.
Huh.
Everybody knows what Theme Park is.
It
spewed off the franchise that was like Theme Everything.
Oh, okay.
Theme Hospital was a part of that.
I was like,
I like
is that
Theme
the
Hospital.
prequel to Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No,
Darn it.
nothing is. You know what is? Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yep. What was it? I think I read something about that guy trying to get the rights back to that game because they're just shitting on it. Like,
nice.
They really are. Like, they turned out a 3DS Roller Coaster Tycoon and it was fucking terrible.
Of course.
I was so sad because I had a 3DS and I wanted things to play on it. And fucking, I love Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Mm-hmm.
Best way to kill people in a video game yet.
No, sorry. I just remembered I was thinking about. That reminded me of SimCity, the last one that came out. I was walking through a Walmart, and a little girl was at the electronics counter with her mother. Her mother was like, I wanted to pick up a game that came out today. I'm like, SimCity came out today. So I turned and I watched this. Or no, it had come out like 2 days ago. The trouble had already started. And she's like, it's Simulation City, and the guy's like, Sim City? Like, yeah, I hear it's like really educational. The girl's just sitting there trying not to look like she's shilling her mother for a video game. She's like 14. And the guy's like, yeah, that's what I've heard. Like, a lot of schools are having kids play. And I'm like, oh yeah, she could learn a lot. I'm like behind the movie where I'm like, yeah, if she could connect to it, runs.
Good one, Aggro.
I always felt bad about that.
Fucking, you could have stopped that,
I could have.
but you didn't.
I have been in too many one-sided shouting matches with middle-aged white women in the American South in my life.
Yeah.
And it is not a thing I invite upon myself anymore.
There was this absolutely awesome store manager for GameStop. He was actually from EB Games before it became GameStop, and his name was Douglas. He actually works at a GameStop relatively near here, but it's a while ways. One time,
God, I remember the story.
2006 or 2005. Yeah, it was 2005. Some kid's in the store trying to figure out, like, he's like, oh, I want this game, and his mom takes the game with him up to the counter, and she's like, this game, I'm not sure, should I get him this game? And Douglas, he fucking looks at the lady, and he's like, yeah, it's actually a very realistic story about the Cold War, and it involves a guy trying to survive in the wilderness, and you have to use your survival and stealth skills to avoid getting detected. It's actually really educating. He fucking sold this one on Metal Gear Solid 3! And I'm just sitting there, like, shaking, trying to keep in my laughter. I'm like, Douglas, you amazing bitch! Fucking goddamn it!
Which is what I love about the educational label, especially with video games. You will most usually learn something by playing a video game. Now, I am of the firm opinion that all learning can be beneficial, but that a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, and video games often carry a little knowledge. Like fucking that Penny Arcade strip where he stomps on the back of the kneecap of his wife and murders her. No!
Of course, the only thing I learned from Jewel Summoner after playing it for a half an hour is that Jewel Summoner has like a 40-minute long intro sequence.
Jewel Summoner. I hope no
Lesson
one.
learned.
I hope no one from E Empire's listening to this podcast. Because they'll be like, he did receive that disc.
I'm like, is that what you told them? I'm like, didn't they buy you that game?
Fucking, it was a review copy. They didn't buy shit. But yeah, I basically told them, this thing is so heinous that I will not put myself through any more of it for a review. Like,
Dan, you could have just pulled an IGN review of Dynasty Warriors.
That's true.
I played about 40 minutes of this.
Time?
Well,
oh,
just
really?
Yeah. It's usually, I played
Yeah.
through, in story mode used to be a lot shorter.
Right.
I played through the story mode on easy, and the game's ridiculously brain dead. I played this game for 3 hours.
Yeah, and then commenters are like, hey, I can't believe you dealt with it for that long. Good on you.
Yeah, this is my thing with Dynasty Warriors. I don't play Dynasty Warriors. Really never have. I think my longest stint was that quick play we did, and I wasn't playing. Maybe 15 minutes at an EB Games once. People really need to back the fuck up off Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah. It's kind of like that Rune Factory rant I went in the last podcast of like, why should I buy this Rune Factory for? Well, you get to grow vegetables and be a woman. Really? That's it? Yes, that's it. Fuck you.
I played that Rune Factory where I didn't get to grow vegetables. That was awful.
That was awful. Why are you trying to take that from me? But yeah, fucking, what was it? I was listening to...
I don't know. I'd be wary of that, Dan, because I remember I'm like, why should I play Harvest Moon? And, grow vegetables was part of it. But, like, in this one, you get to pick a wife and a dog. And I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. I'm going to stick around for that. And this fat guy walks out, and he's like, hey, I got 2 dogs here. I got a round dog and a pointy dog. Which one do you want? And Dan's like, well, I guess I want the pointy dog. And he's like, okay. And then he takes the round dog looks all sad. And he takes the round dog, I swear to God, he walks it around behind your barn. And you never see it again. And the horrifying thing isn't that he shot that fucking dog, okay? The old yeller here is not the problem. The problem is, I know you pick a wife. And I'm terrified that guy's gonna come out with a round wife and a pointy wife. He's like, which one do you want? Well, can I be Mormon? Fuck no, not in this country. Which one do you want? I'm so sorry, I want the round wife. He's like, okay. The pointy wife you can see her face go dead. Her eyes just shut down. And he takes the pointy wife out behind the barn. And all you hear is silence.